Beyond its reputation as a backdrop in drill music videos, Shell plc stands as one of the largest and most influential petroleum corporations in the world. The Shell name originally came from a London business run by Marcus Samuel, whose family imported and sold decorative seashells to wealthy Victorian collectors. Eventually, the business expanded into international trade. In the late 19th century, Marcus Samuel recognized the massive commercial potential of oil, especially as the world transitioned from whale oil and coal toward petroleum products like kerosene. He created the Shell Transport and Trading Company in 1897. Around the same time, the Dutch company Royal Dutch Petroleum was developing oil operations in the Dutch East Indies or modern-day Indonesia. The two firms became fierce competitors against Standard Oil, which dominated the global oil industry. In 1907, Shell merged with Royal Dutch Petroleum to create Royal Dutch Shell, mainly to compete against Standard Oil. During World War I and II, Shell became extremely important because militaries relied heavily on oil for ships, planes, and vehicles. The company rapidly expanded its refineries, tanker fleets, and global fuel networks. After World War II, the rise of cars, aviation, and plastics caused oil demand to explode. Shell became one of the most powerful energy companies in the world. By the 1970s and 80s, Shell was deeply tied to geopolitics because oil itself had become central to global power and economic growth. In recent decades, Shell expanded beyond oil into natural gas, chemicals, renewable energy, and electric vehicle charging. In 2022, the company officially rebranded as Shell plc and moved its headquarters from the Netherlands to London. Shell has geopolitical power because energy is one of the foundations of modern civilization. Countries can survive without many things, but not without fuel, electricity, transportation, chemicals, and industrial energy. A disruption in oil supply can damage entire economies. Because Shell operates huge parts of the global energy chain, governments often have to coordinate with it. Shell has historically operated in Nigeria, the Middle East, the North Sea, Gulf of Mexico, and Asia-Pacific LNG markets. Many of these regions are politically sensitive or strategically critical. For example, control of LNG supply affects Europe's energy security. Large energy companies negotiate directly with presidents, state-owned oil companies, and regulators. Shell signs long-term agreements worth billions of dollars. In some developing countries, oil revenue can represent a huge percentage of government income. That means Shell can become economically intertwined with states themselves. Shell owns and operates refineries, pipelines, tankers, chemical plants, fuel stations, and LNG terminals. Entire countries depend on Shell. Historically, companies like Shell were sometimes described as states within states because of their global reach and financial power. In 2025, Shell plc's market cap was estimated at $176 billion. In South Africa, we have a Shell garage on every single corner, Shell gas stations for all the Westerners. But in the past year or so, Shell plc began scaling down in South Africa, mainly because the company no longer sees the country's fuel retail business as strategically important enough relative to risks, costs, and returns. The biggest driver is Shell's global strategy shift. The company has been restructuring worldwide to focus more on upstream oil and gas production, LNG, high-margin energy assets, and capital efficiency. That means selling or reducing exposure to lower-growth downstream businesses like gas stations in certain countries. In South Africa, specifically, several factors make the market less attractive for a multinational oil major. Slow economic growth, electricity and logistics instability, rising operating costs, tighter profit margins in fuel retail, regulatory and political complexity, crime and infrastructure problems. These issues increase operational friction while limiting growth potential. In conclusion, all giants are not companies. Firms like Shell plc are closer to geopolitical infrastructure systems than normal businesses.